Hey guys, we have some updates on the NHS Palantir front. Now, of course, there's always been a lot of criticism, especially here in the UK, about Palantir working in the NHS. We've heard it before in terms of privatisation, stealing data, selling data, getting access to data that they shouldn't. All of that stuff. We've heard it before. But this morning, some NHS workers and allies were actually picketing outside the Palantir London offices to get Palantir out of the NHS. To give you some context, some workers are currently part of a 3-day junior doctor strike here in the UK, and they are saying that the NHS England contract with Palantir is systematic of the broader dismantling of the health service. Apparently, workers are actually blocking the entrance to the London Palantir HQ, not allowing anybody in or out. There are leaflets being passed around, which you'll be able to see on the screen in just a minute. But let me just tell you basically what this protesting is actually calling for. So number 1 is to cancel the Palantir NHS contract. Number 2 is to bring all public services data management in-house. 3, end the privatisation, asset stripping and outsourcing of public services to corporations. And lastly, no public service deals with companies compliant in the Israeli occupation. So there seems to be some tension, geopolitical tension, also alongside the idea that Palantir are a private company and they shouldn't be working with our NHS. So this is one of the leaflets that is being handed around, and it's titled Understanding Palantir in Palestine and the NHS. So you can pause the video and read this fully, but you can see here support for genocide, the idea that Palantir is supporting the genocide and are proud to support Israel. Protective policing, Palantir supplies protective policing services to Israel, and then they are used, that is being used for certain things according to this. Support for other occupations, they've provided services to the US military for support in Iraq and Afghanistan, especially with drone strikes. And then we've got more, you can pause it and read here, but then we've got these points. Massive data contract. Palantir has been awarded a 330 million contract to create a new management system called the FDP. It is unclear how much data they will have access to. Further privatisation. This deal represents asset stripping, blah, 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 which could lead to privatisation of the NHS. And then it says health data is a highly valuable resource, of course it is, which companies like Palantir could profit significantly from mining and using to develop their own products. And then we've got population surveillance. We have grave concerns about the surveillance of minoritized patients. Palantir is embedded in the UK Ministry of Defence, etc., etc. So will they collect data to then use that to, it says here, arrest and deport migrants? Now, just thinking about some of the stuff here that is being said, the idea that Palantir could profit significantly from mining data, that they could go on to develop their own product, that they are a spy company, they might have access, how much access they have, data access they have is unclear. Those are things that we have debunked time and time again, still clearly being used. We're seeing it happen. And then we've got this leaflet here. Again, pause the screen, read through this in your own time. But this section here is interesting. It says, in the UK, the latest round of junior doctor strikes has restarted on the background of spiralling wait times, falling real-term pay for health workers across roles, and over a decade of systematic underfunding. It is in this context that Palantir has just been awarded a 330 million contract. We know all oppression is interconnected, so we are using a strike day to picket Palantir. A couple of things there. Number 1, do I think the NHS is underfunded? Yes. Do I think that doctors deserve to be paid higher here in the UK? Yes. Is there an issue with waiting times? Absolutely. Is it a systemic decade of issues? Absolutely. So I agree with all those things. But what I don't agree with, what I don't understand even, I should say, is that if the issue includes spiralling waiting times, one of the big use cases of Palantir working within the NHS is to reduce those waiting times in order to make the NHS more effective, more efficient, to optimise. And one of those things that it's going to be able to do is actually give better treatment to patients and reduce those wait times. We know this. We've seen the pilot schemes. But that is one of the reasons that they want to picket Palantir, and because they don't understand, I guess, why Palantir should be awarded such a big amount of money when actually that money could go to the doctors instead. So it's all very difficult. It's confusing, it's challenging. I didn't know whether really to make this video, to be honest, because I'm sure a lot of people will say things in the comments, but I'm just trying to report on what's actually happening here in the UK about Palantir, because you know, we've seen it a lot with the NHS deal. They were awarded the contract. That caused a lot of problems. And now we seem to have some more protesting, more picketing happening, as we kind of expected. But this seems to be, like I said, not just about the privatisation of the NHS, not just about Palantir being a spy company, but also about Palantir's, what Palantir have openly said before about their support of Israel, causing some issues. Let me know any thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, I hope this brings you up to date with the Palantir NHS news. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon.